hope you all are doing well. I hope you're having a good week. I haven't gotten to post. I've been really busy. Finals coming up, so we're trying to finish as much material as we can. Had my pre-engineering studies. Pretty sure people in college understand what I'm talking about. I want to talk about a little brief experiment I did today. As you know, echoheadproject, experimental living. Not that I have a lot of time to experiment right now other than in the lab at school, but I used chat roulette, something I've never done before, but I hacked it. And I'll explain why, and I'll explain what this could mean. Here's the thing. You all are familiar, if you're on YouTube, with social media websites. So we've got Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus that I don't think anybody really uses, YouTube, Instagram. The problem with all of these networks is that while they're good communication tools for keeping in contact with people inside of the network you already know, or maybe once removed, what it doesn't do is allow you to access people that are not in your network. So imagine you're at the center of a circle and there are all these dots connecting to you. And if you're lucky, maybe sometime on Facebook you'll put out, a status. It'll hit one of your friends will like it, one of their friends will like it, you'll somehow end up talking to that person, and then you'll gain something. But the truth is that most of the time that doesn't happen. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they all have the same problem. They're closed node networks. So you have your node and the node that you're connected to. What they don't do is enable more contact. They don't let you talk to someone you've never met. So what I did was I used chat roulette. Chat roulette has a random seed algorithm that is supposed to put you in contact with somebody completely random from around the world. Now, granted, it's very lopsided. Most of the people on chat roulette are not just trying to talk to strangers about life. They're trying to do stuff I won't talk about on YouTube. But I did have a really cool conversation with some people. What I did was I posted in my bio, you get like a little one-word blurb kind of thing going on in chat roulette, that I was just trying to talk to people about life and gather bands. I figured this would be a good way to prove to myself, sort of anecdotally, it's not definitive experimentation here, that this works as a strategy and that I could get perspectives of people I'd never met. And what I did was I put in a list of countries, and whatever, you have this very long list of countries. I took some off because I didn't want to have just very skewed results towards a demographic that didn't speak English, to be honest. But I ended up talking, for example, to a guy studying architecture in New Delhi, which it would never happen. And I talked to this guy who plays blues out in Tennessee. Again, wouldn't happen. I live in Haifa. But what this demonstrates is that social media doesn't have to be isolating the way it is. There have been some studies. I'll try to find the reference at some point and post it. Honestly, it's not that important. I think everybody kind of understands that this is how it is. That Facebook actually makes people a little bit more depressed, and that people with anxiety and depression should avoid sites like Facebook because people only post highlights and it only connects you to your peer group. So you feel like you're the only person not having a good time. What's cool with chat roulette also that I like is because it's video conversation, you aren't constrained by the limitations of text, which is great because especially if the person doesn't speak English that well and you don't speak their language that well, which happened to me a couple of times, you can sort of still get by just from that nonverbal sort of indicative human interaction. But it's an interesting little trick. You use chat roulette to find, let's say, I don't know, you're writing a report on a certain country. Wouldn't it be interesting if you could talk face to face with people from that country? Or you want to listen to Irish music, rather than going on Google and Googling Irish music, go on chat roulette, see if anybody interesting from Ireland is willing to talk to you about, actual Irish music, as opposed to whatever passes for Irish music on Google. I thought it was a cool experiment. I picked up a really cool list of bands. If you guys want, post in the comments, and I will post it in the description of the video. And give this a shot. If you have you're bored, whatever, you want some information, try out chat roulette, but don't do what most people are doing, obviously. Have a question, post your question in your bio. See if anything cool turns up. I got a ton of bands that I've never heard before that I still am sort of working through, from like 15 different people. this didn't take me that long. I just had to be quick with the, there's a button in chat roulette to spawn a new conversation. If somebody's doing something you don't like, just hit it. Anyway, comment, rate, subscribe. Please write comments. None of you are writing comments. I want to hear what you think. Are any of you using chat roulette? Do any of you use these sort of random spawn chat programs, websites, whatever, to find new music, to find new art, to find, I don't know, just get a perspective from a country that you've never been to? If you're traveling someplace, I figured this would also be a great thing people could use chat roulette for. And I think the creators of these kinds of sites probably feel like we as people are not using it for what it is. And I think that that's true with the internet in general. We, I'm sure you've all heard this sort of not 100% true statistic, but it's there that most of the internet is for porn. 90% of the internet is for porn. And it's too bad, isn't it? I mean, we have this vast sea of connections that we could potentially be making and people we could be talking to. But instead, we're just, staring at pixels making noise and not interacting and not really learning anything. But chat roulette in that respect kind of breaks that mold a little bit, even if most of it still is for porn. But anyway, give it a shot. If you're going to go visit a country, chat roulette that country, because you can select by country. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Echohead Project.